So Japanese food to me is always about two different things, presentation and really awesome flavors. In today's recipe, we got something called the Soboro bowl, or a ground chicken bowl. We're gonna be showing you guys the nutrition facts along the way. I got my mom here to help me out.
Hi, I'm Philip's mom. Philip really loves Japanese food, so I enjoy making it for him.
So let's get into today's recipe.
So the ingredient list will be down in the description below, so make sure you get everything before you start this recipe. So we're gonna be starting it off with 1 pound of ground chicken here, 3 whole eggs, 8 to 9 green onions here, 1 tablespoon of mirin, 2 tablespoons of that good old-fashioned monk fruit sweetener, 1 tablespoon of grated ginger, 1 teaspoon of sake, 1 teaspoon of salt, 3 quail eggs for garnish, and we didn't film it here, but you want 3 tablespoons of soy sauce as well. Let's start off today's recipe with some eggs. To keep the protein higher and the fats lower, we're going to add 2 whole eggs and 1 egg white. You still get an awesome flavor, and you can honestly hardly taste the difference if you were to put in 3 eggs. After we crack in the eggs, we're going to add in 1 tablespoon of mirin and 1 pinch of salt. Since mirin is sweet, this will really make the eggs taste like tamago you can find at your favorite nigiri spot. This is really the ingredient that makes tamago have its unique sweet flavor. Now that we got all the eggs prepped up, let's add in some oil and heat the pan to medium. After the oil is heated up after a minute or 2, let's add the eggs in and scramble them until they're like reminiscent of little tiny pebbles. I had a lot of bento boxes when I was in Japan, and I found that these tiny pebbles went really well with the rice. It also looks visually pleasing, so you get a 2-for-1 deal here. If you don't want to go for these tiny pebbles, scrambling them or even turning them into omelets is totally fine too. Check out our other bento box episode to see how we made those omelets. Now let's cook up our ground chicken here. If you've ever had a Japanese Soboro bowl, then you know how good this ground chicken tastes. So we're going to add in the ground chicken in a medium-high pan. We're going to let it sit for a bit so it can get some color, and then we're going to add in 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1.5 tablespoons of mirin, 2 tablespoons of monk fruit sweetener, 1 pinch of salt, and 1 tablespoon of ginger. Once everything's added in, you just want to mix it up and let everything get nice and incorporated. This is really the star of the dish. Ground chicken or ground turkey can be really hard to eat when you're dieting, and this really adds some much needed flavor for those of you who've been trying to get your protein into your diet. Try this out, guys, and trust me, you guys can never go back to salt and peppered ground chicken. This is just better in every single way. Now that the seasoning is all added in, you just want to get some color on your ground chicken here. This is going to take around 10 to 15 minutes to cook, so just stay patient and make sure to stir so every single piece of chicken gets some color on it. If you notice the liquid in the pan, you'll assume that is the fat coming out of the ground chicken. However, that liquid is actually mostly water, and we'll have to boil it off until all the fat is left in the pan. The sound will change from a bubble to a fizzle, and you'll start to see the color kind of change here. This is really the secret to getting some awesome flavor on your ground chicken, so make sure you stay patient and cook that chicken thoroughly. So now it's time to plate up our food here. It's a shame that our camera wasn't recording as we put in the rice and assembled the dish, but you can definitely try to imitate our food styling by just looking at the thumbnail. What I love about meal prepping or just cooking at home in general is how you can choose how much of each element you want with your meals throughout the week. Since we started with 16 ounces of ground chicken, each of these meals has a total of 5 to 5.5 ounces each. We get some really awesome flavor and a ton of protein here. To assemble the bento boxes, you want to lie down 120 grams of white rice throughout the entire container and add in 5 ounces or 5.5 ounces of ground chicken to the upper portion of the dish. Then you want to put in a layer of green onions, put the eggs on the rice that hasn't been covered yet. The hard part, however, comes from this quail egg on top of the ground chicken. You definitely want to buy more than 3 since these are really tricky to separate and to place perfectly. Our tip here is to use a scissor to cut halfway through the egg and use a colander to separate the egg from the egg white. Once you have it in the colander, you can gently add it onto the chicken and you'll have this beautifully plated dish. We got the inspiration for this dish from one of our favorite restaurants here in LA. It's called Tori Goya, and they serve yakitori with chicken bowls. If you're ever in the mood for some good Japanese food, make sure to check them out. Once you've plated the quail egg on top of the chicken, you'll be done with the dish, guys. Once everything's done, we just want to stack them up and store them in the freezer, as the rice will be fresh after we microwave it for a bit. If you want one of these bento boxes for yourselves, we'll make sure to put the link in the description below. If you liked the video, feel free to like and subscribe. If you made this for yourselves, then please tag us on Instagram or email us a picture of any questions that you have about this dish. We also have a blog which you can find at aspirefitnesswalnut.com, where we talk about healthy Asian foods and tips on how you can get to your fitness goals. It would mean the world to us if you could share our videos and help the channel grow during these times. We hope you enjoyed the video, and please let us know what to cook next. Thanks for watching, and we will see you guys in the next one.